It's the Lord of the Underground. What up? Welcome back. It is Bones, and today we're gonna do a collection update video. Now, I usually do these every once in a while to show you the things I picked up, the things I've found in the wild, ordered online. So that in turn is things that I may be reviewing in the near future, or maybe not, but just to show what I have picked up recently in the last couple of weeks. Now, I do have a pretty good pile of things, so I want to get through them as fast as I can, because I do have a couple of reviews that I'm working on, and I also want to do a couple of custom videos of customs that I've been working on, and I'm getting pretty close to finishing, so we'll be seeing that in the near future. But first, McFarlane news. Now, of course, as most of us know, McFarlane is in San Diego at the Comic-Con. In fact, there is a lot of people there, different companies, different areas of entertainment, for everybody. So that's pretty awesome. Now, I'm not a hater, so I don't go in and say Legends or NECA or Super 7, I don't care. I just don't collect that stuff, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm, mainly a DC collector. But I'm happy everybody's there having fun and getting, awesome reveals. So that's cool for me. It doesn't matter to me if everybody collects what they like. And that is actually why we are all in this hobby, is to enjoy ourselves and collect what we like. Even though we do have to put up with the worms every once in a while, it's no big deal. Now let's go ahead and jump into it. First off, they revealed a set of 3 figures. Now these will each be released with a part for a NFT. Not necessarily sure what that is, or who cares, but it is part of this wave of figures. You had your re-release of Rebirth Batman, but now in a blue color. So that's okay, not really needed, but fine. And then of course you have what everybody was waiting for, your classic Wonder Woman. Now to me she looks awesome, even though it's just a rendering, but you could see that she's gonna be pretty fantastic. So anybody that starts complaining or already talking about any negative stuff, just don't listen to them, because they will never be happy. So we can only control our our own emotions and be happy that everybody could stop complaining about getting a Wonder Woman. Everybody could let that lie, and then now we'll find out what the next thing that you'll see in all the comments, all the releases, what the next thing is that everybody will be complaining about. But it is what it is. We will get a classic Wonder Woman, and she does look pretty beautiful, if I must say so myself. And then a re-release of the Endless Winter Aquaman. Now, I'm not sure why they went with this. All they would have had to do was make an alternate head for a classic Aquaman, but no, they just re-released the long-haired, bearded version. Now, this is not to say that the dream is over. We're never going to see a classic Aquaman. In fact, I would say in the next year, or maybe after that, we will see a classic Aquaman. In fact, I don't think this is the only time we're going to see this mold of Wonder Woman. She will come up again with a slight different color change. I'm almost 99% sure of that. So awesome reveals. A lot of the DC dorks' fantasies have been fulfilled, and now they have their classic Wonder Woman. Now the NFT thing, not so sure what that's about. I've never understood it. Why would you want to collect things that are not tangible and are just, in the cyber world? But I mean, it's going to be like anything in our economy. If people like it, it'll sell. If people do not like it, it'll bomb and not sell at all. So that's where we'll find out if this thing has any legs or not. But interesting to see how that goes. Now the next wave of reveals had some pretty cool figures. You have Black Lightning, which is always appreciated. Not one of my favorite characters, but it's cool. I will enjoy adding him to the collection. And of course, there are different versions of Black Lightning, so you're going to get, of course, that conversation of which ones they release, but that always happens. Then you have a pretty strange Green Lantern. It does look like it is using the Hal Jordan and John Stewart body, but it has some crazy head. Now, I have heard that it could be the Vampire Lantern, or maybe it's like a Jokerized version. But whatever it is, I will add it to the collection because I am sick like that.
God, you're sick.
But that's not really, a big blockbuster reveal, so we'll take it. Then you have Supergirl, which is pretty awesome. Now, I'm not actually sure what version of Supergirl this is actually representing, but what I did notice is that they put her in some like long tights, like red tights, and it just does not really look good to me. I would prefer to see a little bit of flesh, but that does not necessarily mean that we'll never get another version of Supergirl. Head sculpt looks pretty interesting. A lot of people are going to be happy to get another Supergirl. We've already received 2, so now this will be our 3rd one. And then an interesting release, because this is another Catman. Now, we did receive images of the gold label Catman, which actually has the claws and a cloth cape. And this version actually has a sculpted cape and a little bit of different paint apps. But once again, the good thing about this, and the reason I try to tell people to don't get so excited about releases, is because you usually will get a couple of versions of each character, just like we have now the Flashpoint Flash, which everybody says is the best version of Flash, but we also have the Rebirth Flash, so you can mix and match and use either one that you prefer, or if you want to use different ones with different setups or displays, that is always great to have as an option. So I'm not going to be mad about another Catman. I'm actually going to embrace it, and now we'll have 2 different versions of Catman to add to our collections. Pretty kooky. Now the next wave was some that we had seen, but also some that we hadn't seen before. You have the classic Riddler. Now this one's getting a lot of love online, but as I said, it's just another version of a character. We already received the Arkham Riddler. Now we have a comic book styled Riddler. And then right next to him, we actually have the black variant of Hush Batman, which I think looks pretty awesome. I was actually wondering what tone of gray they were going to use, and now we have more of an idea, but looks cool. I will be happy to add that one to the collection. Now this one I'm really excited about. This basically I was done after this one, and that is the James Gordon version of Batman, the Capullo storyline. Now, if you don't know, that's one of my favorite DC Direct figures. I do not know what it is about him, but I just really enjoy that figure. Just a sleek look. He's a little bit more of a trimmed down version of a Batman character. But just this actual figure from DC Direct, I always just like the way it looks. It's just aesthetically pleasing to me. Now the Mattel one was kind of a letdown because it wasn't as good as this one. But now we'll have one from McFarlane, which is going to be pretty exciting. And then finally, a figure we had no idea we were going to see. And this is sort of like a night version of Batman. Now, a lot of people thought it was an alternate version of Gladiator Batman, but actually it is not. It is more of a medieval knight Batman. There is a storyline, Medieval Knights or DC Knights or something like that, but it is a different design for the character. So it was pretty cool to see just something out of the blue that we didn't know we were going to get. Now, the next array of figures was pretty interesting because we have the classic Firestorm, which we had seen these in the rumors. We also have the Hawkman from Zero Hour, which I told everybody was not going to be a classic Hawkman. It was going to have a different, darker schemed costume, but it is pretty close. And a lot of people are looking at that upper body for custom work, which I'm always interested in. And then, of course, your classic Sinestro which a lot of people were complaining about because we received the Yellow Lantern Batman. And of course, you heard the cries of why we don't get a Sinestro. And not even a month later, there's your Sinestro. So I always say, do not get too overly emotional about releases because the company is going to do what it's going to do. But we do have a little bit of power because when they showed these figures, later on we heard a rumor that McFarlane did state that he heard what people were saying about these collector's editions and that they were not happy with what we were actually getting for the raised up price point. But for me, what this really harkens to is that we're going to get more accessories, more hands, and really make it a collector's series that we will enjoy. So that's awesome to hear that. It can't happen right away because these figures are almost a year in production, but we will see it in the upcoming releases. So pretty awesome. Now, of course, there were other reveals and stuff going on at Comic-Con. You had DC Direct statues and also the 6-inch line of the 66 Batman, and then also NFTs. A lot of talk, but just things that I'm not really interested in. So happy for anybody that is, but for me, it's, I could skip over that. Not really a reveal, but it just came out right away out of nowhere, which was for pre-order, and that was the 6-pack of the film versions of Batman. So you have Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, Bale, Batfleck, and Pattinson all getting their releases. Now for me, a couple of them are okay. The ones I really enjoyed looking at and really anticipating is the Kilmer. I don't know what it is about that one. Like I say, it's just aesthetically pleasing to me. It looks cool. It's going to be awesome to have on the shelf. And then also, of course, the Batfleck, which is kind of a letdown. We didn't get a technical BVS Batman. We actually got just the tactical suit again, but with a head without any goggles at all. I'll take it, not a big deal, but fingers crossed eventually we will get that classic BVS Batman suit, and also throw in the Batman Begins Batsuit in there for things that I would really like to see. Now this whole set also does come with a bat signal that has interchangeable lenses where you could change it to each different bat symbol from each different film. Now I have heard rumors that these are selling out pretty quick for the pre-orders. Not a big deal, we will get it eventually, but it does look like a pretty awesome set. Of course, right away you saw this on the secondary market and they were asking Las Vegas prices, so you may want to pre-order yours if you're not scared. I have no fear, so eventually I'll pick it up. And then the final wave to talk about is another live action, and that is the Batman and Robin wave. Pretty cool. You have your Poison Ivy, Uma Thurman, looks pretty good. And then you have your Batgirl with Alicia Silverstone, yummy. And then you have your Robin, Chris O'Donnell. It's cool to have it in the set. And then your awesome collector build figure will be Mr. Freeze, of course portrayed by Arnold Schwarzenegger. So that's going to be awesome to finally build that and have it in the collection. Pretty cool. Can't complain about those reveals at the Comic-Con. Now before we go, there is one final thing that may have been seen there, maybe not, and that is glimpses of the Medieval Spawn Kickstarter. So McFarlane definitely running on all cylinders. He's getting back into sports figures. He has all the IPs that he's doing. Of course, DC, running DC Direct, Spawn. I mean, he's just all over the place. So it's a good time to be a DC collector and a McFarlane collector. So hope everybody's having a good time there in San Diego. Now let's go ahead and get into the things I picked up. I'll try to run through this as fast as I can to get it out of the way. Some stuff I ordered, some stuff I found in the wild, and a couple of things are loose, and I even have some classic stuff to look at. So first up, I picked up the Superman and the Flash. These like alternate colors. Um, I already picked up the patina Superman armor, and I'm not so sure how I want to do this. I don't really feel like I need to have two of these, one to display and then one to have in package. So I'm just gonna feel it out for now. You can find these online, but they're like double the price. Now this one has a pretty awesome head sculpt, but that's probably the main thing that I liked. This one just looks good, like in a whole, as it looks, with the Speed Force effects and everything. But I'm happy to have them. I'll just have to figure out exactly how I want to be collecting any of these, like, repaints that they're putting out. Now these I actually scored from Amazon, and the reason I bought these is I think they were $18 each. Of course, a lot of people unhappy with the way the Hush Batman came out on here, the head sculpt, the unpainted joints. But for me, since I had already done some custom work on the one I originally bought, one of these will be used to have this version of Batman on my collector shelf, and one I will be keeping in box for my complete in-box mint collection. So pretty cool. I mean, you can't beat it. For the price of originally buying one, you get two. So now out in the wild, I actually picked up this Catwoman. Now I already bought this, I already reviewed this, but I did see that she is actually getting pretty hard to find on the aftermarket. She's going almost for double her price. So since I just came across her at Target, I went ahead and picked her up because you can never have too many Catwomans lying around. Now I actually have the gray version here, the platinum. So this one I'm never going to open because I only have one of these, but I'm pretty happy to, for retail, this was $19.99, get this and add it to the collection. You never know, maybe I'll do a custom, or maybe it'll be worth it to sell it in the future, which I almost never do. I've never sold a figure in the aftermarket. I only buy. But yeah. Another one I found at Target was this Falcon Obimus. A lot of people don't like this one. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool mega fig. It is actually straight from the comics. I mean, it's not a classic comic. It is a modern comic, death metal. But yeah, I thought it was cool, so I picked it up. If I could pick one up later on down the line for less than retail, for my closed box, but this one I will be opening. Now I have heard that these mega figs, sometimes they actually go good with the little figures that McFarlane is selling. I guess those 3-inch figures or whatever. And those are good to make a display with some of these mega figs. So that might be something you look into. Now these actually came from the McFarlane toy store, but it took them forever. I don't know why it took so long. I ordered when everybody else did. And that is the Nightfall Batman, which will be from my inbox collection. The Batwing and the Two-Face as Batman. Pretty cool. These I will be reviewing. This one's going into my inbox collection. But pretty happy about that. I don't know why McFarlane took so long to get my order out. But yeah, patience is a virtue. I can't remember where I ordered this from, but I got this gold label Captain Atom. I got this gold label Sinestro Corps Batman. I got this gold label Vampire Superman. And I also picked up the 2 Blue Beetle figures from the movie. Now, actually, I'm not too excited about the movie for the Blue Beetle. Not a big fan of the newer generation version of Blue Beetle, even though in the comics he is actually supposed to be from where I'm from, my hometown, El Paso, Texas. They changed it for the movie, so that was pretty much a downer right away. And although he does have a sort of, I don't know how to explain it, like a more kid-friendly, part to him that is like for selling to a younger audience. I just never been a big fan of this version of Blue Beetle. I'm still gonna always be a Ted Cord Blue Beetle guy. So, they do look beautiful. I love the metallic blue, and I will be reviewing these as soon as I can before it gets too late. So, pretty sweet. Now, I actually ordered these online. Finally, I never found this in the wild at all, never, and I'm a big hunter, and I never found it in the wild, but I did need one for my unopened box collection. So there's the Deathstroke Defiance, and then I told you guys that eventually I would pick up this version of Arkham Red Hood, because I recently did a repaint of the standard version and added some guns and stuff like that, but was never really a big fan of this version, so I didn't really necessarily think that I needed it to actually have it in my hand or anything. And I prefer the regular standard version. It's just more accurate to the game. If I ever see one of these for real cheap, I may buy it and then have this, open on the shelf, but I just don't feel like I need to display it. Now we'll have the final box figure that I picked up, and we'll start getting into some loose stuff. I bought this in-box Keaton Batman from The Flash. I just had to have it. Now, altogether, this cost me $38, which was not too bad. A little less than, double retail, but to have it in box, and this one is actually really hard to find. And I also picked up a loose version, which I only got for $32, but of course I need one to have on display because the original one that I bought is actually sitting inside my Batwing, and he did come with his card and the alternate hands. So really happy to get these two. I could have one more if I really wanted to. Eventually I will pick him up, but this is actually a beautiful figure. I love this one. That's awesome. Now, I actually never reviewed the Talon figure. I still have two of them in box over here, but I picked these up pretty cheap. This one was 16 and this one was 18, and that is to have at least 6 Talons, for display, to have a little Talon army there. So pretty awesome. A little bit of army building from me. Not too much, just a little bit. Now, another thing loose that I picked up was this Bane. Now, I actually bought this for $35. So with shipping and tax, it was like $38. And you could say, well, why'd you buy it? They're going to sell a gold label with the coat. Well, I'm not a big fan of the way that coat looks, because I'm not really a big fan of cloth goods on action figures. It just depends. But I actually have some arms here that I already have ready to use. And the reason I'm going to use these is, if you know why, I'm going to put these on here. These are like a coat. Now, for the whole reason that I'm going to use the coat, I don't need the bushings. You don't need it in here. It won't look right. So I'm going to have these 2 coat arms, and then I'm going to actually make a custom coated Bane, but not using soft goods. Came with his hands, so that's always an extra added incentive. We'll be working on that eventually. By the time I get the gold label Bane with the cloth coat, I should have that one almost done. That way I could show them off together and show the differences of making your own custom one compared to the cloth version that McFarlane released. Now, I actually did finally pick up some classic stuff. Now, if you don't know, I'm a big fan of the 2003 sort of Batman line from Mattel. I have them up here on my wall. Love these figures. I actually have them in box as well. But there's just something about them. Their silhouette and the way they're made, they're just awesome. Limited articulation, but that doesn't take away of the way they look stylistically. Now, I have been looking for this for years, literally years, and this is a 2-pack of Batman and Killer Croc. And basically the only difference is that these actually have some battle damage. Now, I'm not positive of all the differences. I'll have to compare them and check it out. But I do have this Croc and I do have this Batman. But these are a certain 2-pack version that had battle damage that I've been looking for a long time. You also get a little extra here, some custom fodder, but I'm really happy to get this. Now, this only cost me $20, so that's $10 a figure, which is perfect. And these will actually be going up there with my display for that Mattel Batman line. So I'm actually the most happy about this. Now, the final thing I'll show before we go is I actually do collect some NECA. I'll collect anything. It just depends, if I like it or if it means something to me. And I have been slowly collecting the Gargoyles line, so I did pick up finally Bronx and also Demona. Now I actually have 2 Goliaths, and that's why I wanted this Bronx, so that I could display one with the wings and then one with the collapsed wings. But I'm also a big fan of Bronx, and a good thing about these figures is that they come with a lot of cool accessories that you can actually mix and match with your DC multiverse, because these are also scaled out at 7-inch. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this one. You've seen everything I picked up. I'll be having a lot of things to work on, but you guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.
Used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.